Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Spotlight episode. Today, we are talking about the Hilo Hi-Flyers Adventure album. High Tide Recordings sent this out to me, and again, very lucky and grateful for that. And they sent it out for me to hype and review so that you guys can maybe pick it up when it debuts in a few days, 4 days from now. So, isn't that great? This album debuts on May 28th. And you got to get yourself a copy. It's a great little piece of paradise in an album. This album definitely has more pluses than negatives, and I'm loving every bit of it. This bunch of guys is so very talented. I can't even begin to tell you how much I admire the clarinet playing as well as the vibraphone, and I believe I have Cale Styles to thank for that woodwind work, and his vocals fantastic. His harmonizing is fantastic, very smooth voice. This album definitely has a lot of jazz influence, and the group itself sounds fantastic as if they're in the room. These pressings are on high quality 100% virgin vinyl from High Tide Recordings, and every pressing that I receive is quiet as can be. It isn't really all that mysterious when it comes to the exotica elements to the album. It's all not that experience and that excitement of the mystery. It's all kind of refined and laid out. And a lot of these are covers from the Great American Songbook. Take this Maple Leaf Rag, for example. And it's all done in that classic tiki kind of Polynesian style that I just love. That island feel is drenched throughout this. And the back of this cover is a fun read. Crashed from their seaplane onto a deserted tropical island paradise, and all the adventures that happen to them are depicted on, the cover. A great artwork, back and front. I love the back cover description of making up a story. Rituals in the Rain has sort of a Japanese feel, as well as Mountain King, basically a take on Grieg's In the Hall of the Mountain King. That classic track is featured on this, and I love their Mountain King cover. This album is a perfect thing to make yourself a drink with and enjoy and kick back, listen to some great tunes with it. It's excellent. Nice frozen drink. Cannot go wrong with this album with it. It evokes a summer tropical vibe, and I'm all here for it. Making a tropical cocktail to go with this album is like essential to me. I've heard these guys play live before on, social media, and they are seasoned professionals. They really know how to play their instruments, especially the clarinet, the guitar work, even the vocals are dead on perfect. They are very refined, and I'm almost getting a sort of Disneyland vibe from them, where they could be showcased in Disneyland or Disney World, and they would be blend in like just another great act. Some of the tracks very much so remind me of just walking into Adventureland in Disney World or Disneyland, and just soaking that in with this kind of music. It's very polished, refined, and not so experimental. But I'm all here for that. I love the polished vibe that they're going for. They're seasoned professionals, and they work together perfectly, the four of them. Young guys, my age. This isn't your typical Martin Denny, your typical, Les Baxter style exotica. This is more, it's not an orchestra sound. It's four guys. It's more small space, condensed, and polished. In that way, simple, very simple. You can hear all the instruments. There's not a lot of synths going on, not a lot of, trickery in the studio. I would bet you if I were to see them play, it would sound exactly like this album. And that's what they're going for, and I love that. I love that. Four guys playing great music together. The packaging in the album just comes with a nice poly-lined inner sleeve with a nice hype sticker on the front, which I put on this sleeve, and it states, Transformative Exotica from Long Beach, California. First pressing on orange vinyl, and the orange vinyl is iridescent, translucent, and hazy. I love the look of this pressing, and it does not affect the sound quality in any way, shape, or form. It sounds fantastic on my setup. I love this album. So far, it is not in the ranking of my top High Tide Recordings albums as of late that I've been hearing, but it is high up there, and it deserves to be listened to and relaxed to and enjoyed with friends, and have a party with it in the background. It's great background music that's friendly and non-offensive and won't bother anybody who's in for a good vibe and to sit back, relax, lounge to a melody with a cocktail. It's perfect for that. The green label that is featured certainly does stand out amongst the orange. It's almost like a green leaf with an orange sun. It's a beautiful, beautiful record, looks-wise, and audio, of course. It's got a lot of different fusions going on. It's got a lot of Japanese feels, Japanese vibes, along with exotic vibes, and also some Dixieland, a Dixieland jazzy twang to it, while also having that Middle Eastern sort of feel, having that Japanese element in that. It is just fantastic blending of different genres all throughout this album, going off on their solos. I love that. Again, the clarinet. I love that clarinet, that jazzy clarinet. I'm there for it. I love it. Being a big fan of bossa nova, I'm also really excited for the new Slowy and the Boats Goes Bossa Nova. That came out on May 14th, and I will be picking up a copy. I am a huge fan of bossa nova stuff, and something from High Tide with bossa nova, I'm there. I'm there in a second. I hope I've hyped this up for you guys enough to definitely go ahead and visit their website, check out on that purchase, and get this vinyl when it comes out on the 28th. You will not be disappointed. It's fantastic. I mean, you can't go wrong at a good price. Great looks to the vinyl itself, and the music is just so transportive and so relaxing. I've been spinning these constantly while working, while relaxing, and I just can't be happier. Cheers to the Hilo Hi-Flyers. This is a great album, and keep pumping out the great music from High Tide Recordings. Do check them out. This was their exclusive for May, and I highly suggest you pick up this record. It drops again in 4 days, so be sure to pick it up. Every now and then you'll hear the rain stick and the gong, and you're just gonna sit back and love that, as well as with these woodwinds and guitar. It's just a great blend of great melodies, and I highly recommend that you check out the Hilo Hi-Flyers Adventure album. Very good, very enjoyable to listen to. Nothing drags on too long. It actually speeds right by. It's done in a second and almost too short. I love it so much. Thank you, High Tide, again. That'll do it for me in this Spotlight episode. I want to thank you guys for watching to the end of the video. And with that said, you could find me lounging to a melody on this album. Take care, folks. Bye-bye. Cheers.
Thank you, folks, for tuning into this episode. If you do feel so inclined as to follow me on social media, you may gladly do so at Manza Media Art and Manza Media on every other platform. If you like prints, I've got an Etsy shop where you can see some of my original artwork and fan artwork. I'll catch you folks on the next episode of Manza Media.